Hey, sorry for being late. I got caught up in... Whoa.
I thought the King of Hell would have the courtesy to knock before entering. Or at least, show up on time for planned meetings.
You...
Everything alright?
You're... different.
Excuse me?
How do I say this? I've been around hell for a while, and I've seen my fair share of what hell has to offer. Sinners, hellborn, and whatever. You're something... new.
Really? But I am a sinner. I came from Earth like all the others.
No. This can't be. I don't know how to explain it to you, but sinners have this kind of aura that reveals them. Same for hellborn. You don't have either. It's like a blur?
Is this like clairvoyance?
No, that's different. Wow, this is just... Charlie didn't mention you like this when she called me.
A mystery for another day. Shall we talk, or...
Sorry, this is just a little bit to take in. Mind if I do some tests?
No need. I assure you there is nothing to worry about. You're likely just not feeling your best at the moment.
Wait, just give me a second. I want to figure this out. Did you by chance sell your soul to someone, or have...
No. And that shouldn't explain your sudden, unclear perception of me. As I said before, there is nothing to worry about.
With all due respect, Mr. Dr. Deep Voice, I don't know one thing about you, and you're asking me to sit down and talk about myself and my personal life? That doesn't exactly sound right, does it? On top of that, you're something I haven't seen in my entire life. I'm gonna be curious.
And this curiosity of yours, will it prevent our session from continuing?
I don't know.
Then let me ease your nerves. I've spoken with Charlie, Vaggie, and plenty of others who would have suspicions like you. Not because of some ability to discern a person's identity, but because they know almost nothing about me either. Why would they willingly speak to me if they had this lack of information about me? I believe the answer is security and trust through anonymity. It might be easier to confess secrets and share things with a stranger than someone close to you. Perhaps it's out of embarrassment, fear of what they might think of you, or judgment. But if the face you're talking to is an unfamiliar one, there might be some newfound comfort in that. Like what they think wouldn't matter to you, as they are someone you do not consider tied to your personal life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it kinda makes sense.
Can you recall a time when Charlie kept things hidden from you? Perhaps when she was growing up?
Ah, damn. It's been so long. I mean, I'm sure there's something. Who doesn't keep secrets?
Exactly.
Alright, I understand your funny words. But there's still the issue of you being some damn enigma that I can't put together. Like, are you really a sinner? Are you hellborn?
And I told you, I am a sinner. Even if there was more depth to it, would knowing it all put your mind at ease and change your ability to speak with me?
Yeah.
And how would you feel if you knew this supposed deeper truth?
I guess I'd feel calm knowing I'm talking to a person instead of who knows what.
So, you prioritize knowledge of others before engagement.
What are these questions? I thought Charlie said they'd be easy and simple.
The questions I had prepared for you are indeed easy and simple. It just so happens we went completely off track thanks to your curiosity.
Okay. You sure you're a sinner? Maybe you bumped your head and forgot?
Seriously?
I'm just throwing out ideas.
We're already behind schedule. Can we begin, please?
Okay, so if you're a sinner, you remember what you did on Earth and how you died. What happened? Maybe that's what...
Schmiss. You are nothing like what I expected.
The same can be said for you.
As it stands, I should be the one asking the questions, not you. I don't care if you're tied up with who I am or what. All I ask for is your cooperation. But if you're incapable of providing that, I see no reason to hold this meeting.
Hey, you're the one who wanted this meeting. My daughter called me and said there's this guy that really wants to talk with you. I agreed and now I'm here.
I believe we got off on the wrong foot. May we try again?
Sure.
My name is James. I asked Charlie to contact you so that we may talk. All I have prepared are a few questions. Nothing too complicated. I do not want to waste your time or mine. So, shall we begin?
I guess, but do you know why you're different?
I do not have the slightest hint as to why. And in my opinion, the less you know, the better.
I still don't agree with that.
Then what do you suppose we should do?
I don't know! You're asking me how to do something, but I have zero ideas on what to actually do.
So there is no reason for you to halt our meeting from taking place.
Look, I feel like we're just going in circles at this point. You seem somewhat normal, and if Charlie has no problem talking to you, I guess there's no harm in me doing the same.
So we're ready to commence?
Sure, let's do this.
Good. Please have a seat. If you don't mind, I'll be playing some music in the background.
No problem.
Let's begin by discussing the beginning. I know the story about how you were banished from heaven and your intentions of changing the world. Do you still dwell on that, or is it something you've moved on from?
Oh, wow. At the start I was obviously upset. Maybe after a few centuries I was still angry. But now, I don't hold a grudge against heaven or anything. Still annoyed at them, though. Not because of the whole banishment thing, but that they haven't changed at all. They're still the uptight pricks they were at the dawn of time. And I just don't want to have anything to do with them. I've got my own thing going on here, and it's honestly better than what heaven can put together.
That's twice now I've heard about heaven not being the paradise it's advertised as.
Twice? Who else did you talk with?
Vaggie, Charlie's partner, former exorcist.
Cool.
If heaven is really as bad as I've heard it is there any doubt in your mind about Charlie's dream?
What do you mean?
She wants to redeem sinners and send them to heaven. But heaven isn't all sunshine and rainbows, supposedly. So, does her end goal of a hotel redeeming sinners seem pointless?
Okay, so, for people who go to heaven, winners for simplicity, they live a fine life. It's just that heaven is so uptight about rules and order. There's restrictions like you can't imagine. Best way I can describe it is, say there's a mouse with free will and complete agency. The more room it has, the more it can run around and flourish. Hell is like an open field without borders. You can literally do anything you want here. Hence the chaos. But heaven? The room the mouse has is like a cardboard box, and the edges are made of rusty spikes covered in salt. Any misstep, and BAM! You're in for a bad time.
Very creative description.
In Charlie's hotel? It's got potential. And its purpose isn't bad. Even with the bazillions of rules that come with living in heaven, some sinners could prefer that life over this one down here. They're all free to seek redemption or choose to stay.
And if Charlie's hotel is unsuccessful?
I don't think it will be.
Would seeing history repeat itself be hard for you?
Come again?
You wish to create, and your dreams were crushed. Now, Charlie is attempting to create something. Can you guarantee her success, or will she face the same defeat you once did?
Look, with this hotel business, I will do whatever it takes for it to work. Charlie means everything to me, and if her dream is to succeed where I failed, then I'll move both heaven and hell for it to happen. I won't let my child feel that same agony I did.
Very selfless. It seems Charlie has changed her outlook on life by an impressive margin.
It's for the better, honestly. She reminds me of how I used to be, young and full of passion for creating.
There's something about creation that's fascinating, isn't there? You put your efforts and heart into making something out of nothing, and you take pride in it. Self-gratification, I believe, is a big part of the joy that comes from creation. Patting yourself on the back and saying, "Look what I have made." Though, is the reaction of others an important factor in gauging what you've created?
I'd say you can create, but how others react only plays a role depending on what your creation's purpose is. Is it to help? Express feelings? Things like that. Charlie's Hotel was created to help sinners become better people. My wish to create and give humanity free will was also for the betterment of life itself. But you know what happened. I still think giving free will to humanity was a fine creation, because humanity can live without free will and follow orders, but if they're allowed to think for themselves and create further, you've made something that's practically impossible to calculate on a scale of potential.
I understand what you mean. Giving autonomy is more impressive than having a set of instructions being followed out.
Glad you can share my sentiments on that.
Now, this might be a tad strange, but what are your limits in terms of ability?
Huh?
You're able to use sorcery, have millenniums of experience, including understanding and rules of this realm, and have angelic powers which no one else in hell possesses. What are you unable to do with all that?
You want to know what I can't do?
Yes.
Not much. I mean, the obvious one is that I can't recognize who you are. The whole identity thing is still unclear to me. I also can't send myself or anyone else to heaven. That would kind of defeat the whole point of me being here.
Really quick, I wanted to know, can you traverse the rings?
Yeah, but it's usually for meetings and stuff. Wouldn't want to visit Greed on my own time. That place is just blah.
But you know all the intricacies and workings of the rings, correct?
Yeah, it's part of my job.
How about the place below?
Below?
Never mind. On another note, I had a question about the restrictions upon sinners in the Pride Ring. They're bound to this ring and unable to travel to others. Why is that?
Oh, that? It's kind of a magical barrier thing. Keeps everyone in one place. Plus, if there were just sinners running around all the rings of hell, it'd be fucking pandemonium. Hellborn species would be trying to live their lives, and then wham! Here comes a bunch of deranged psychos to ruin your day.
So this barrier, it's meant to resemble some kind of attempt at order?
Well, it's working fine thus far in my opinion. Haven't gotten a call yet saying someone's escaped.
And would you call this peace?
Not really. More like border control. It's hell. Not really meant to be pleasant. Plus, peace is kinda impossible to find in a place like this. The closest thing that you'll ever find is Charlie's Hotel getting you out of here.
But even then, there's multiple factors to consider before a conclusion can even begin to be discussed. There might be those who do not wish for the hotel to succeed, and more who oppose the idea altogether, including heaven.
Obstacles are just a natural part of any goal in life.
And you think what Charlie is attempting is easy? She is trying to change history and the way things have been done for countless lifetimes.
I know how big this is, which is why I'll do what I can to help her succeed. It's for the good of everyone, and as Charlie puts it, everyone deserves a second chance.
But you realize that after your battle with heaven, you might have made things even harder.
Did we?
I hope you know what you've done and are ready for what comes next. I have a feeling that things will be much more intense going forward. Your army killed angels and even Adam. Those who escape back to their nest will likely come back with reinforcements.
Let them come, I say. I'm not scared of a few insects with sticks.
If you say so. But that fight at the hotel was merely just a battle. You've now started a bigger conflict. And if your goal for redemption and peace alongside Charlie is to succeed, you must now deal with whatever heaven may plan next.
I knew the risks going into that fight, but it was to protect Charlie and her dream. As for heaven, I'm ready for whatever they may throw at me.
You may be able to withstand anything they scheme up, but can you say the same for the others? Such as the sinners already at Charlie's hotel, the ones she's grown bonds with.
Probably not, but that's why I'm going to be the first thing they have to go through.
Then I wish you luck. You and Charlie are past the point of talking things out with heaven. Now, if you want peace, prepare for war.
You're talking about this like you've seen this kind of theme before.
I have. In times of war, order falls silent, morality and humanity are warped and broken, and we lose ourselves. Only after everyone around you is dead will you finally stop seeing red and realize that you went too far. I'm sure you're guilty of this yourself. With your extensive history and abilities, it's almost guaranteed that you've lost yourself on the brink of rage and bloodlust.
Damn.
How much blood, golden or red, will be spilled until this war is over? Will you be a warmonger leading an army to the Golden Gates, or...
Look, buddy, you're taking this to a whole new level. I just want to help and protect my child.
And if that requires you to slaughter every last angel in heaven? I think we're done here. Thank you for your participation.
You're not a sinner. No way.
With all due respect, Lucifer, you have more important things to worry about than me right now. I suggest you start sharpening your sword.
What are you playing at?
Nothing. I'm simply warning you.
I don't need your warnings or comments.
Close the door on your way out.
You know, even though I have no clue what you are, I still notice something.
Did you now?
It was hard to notice at first, but then I couldn't ignore it. Every time you spoke, it got slightly colder.
I think it would be best for you to leave. Now.
Oh, did that upset you?
Out.
Fine, jeez.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything is all good. Just wanted to let you know I got done with that meeting you asked me to do. Wasn't too bad, I'd say.
A meeting?
Yeah, with that James fellow.
Oh, you talked with him.
I did. You sound surprised.
How did you arrange that with him?
What are you talking about? You called me about it.
What? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You called me and told me about this guy who wanted to talk with me, that he had just a few simple questions for me. I was skeptical, but you insisted.
Dad, I never called you about that.
It happened just last week. Maybe you forgot?
Dad, I promise you, I didn't call you or say anything about that.
But I've got it in my call history. There's no doubt about it.
Wait.
What?
He asked me to call you, but I never did.
James asked you first?
He wanted me to ask you for a meeting.
But you're saying you never called me.
Yes.
Wait, okay. So he asked you to call me, and you're saying you never did. But I did get a call from you. It was from your number and everything.
Did you really hear me talking to you?
Charlie, I'm not crazy.
Something's wrong here. Dad, please believe me. I didn't call you.
Then, who was I talking to?
I don't know.
We'll figure this out later. Talk to you soon.